It's great to be here in Havana in Cuba with Manuel de la Rica, who set up the EBM network, and we've got Alex
Lawton from Infinity Media and Third Thing Group in Spain,
who's going to act as a translator as we have a little chat about...
We will try to speak in English, okay? If I need some help, Alex Lawton is make me a hand, okay?
Perfect. So, obviously, EBM was the first agency in Cuba. Tell me a little bit about how you set it up.
All beginning, it is about 12 years ago, because I was thinking about to do something different. Europe is so similar, any country is like the other. And I was thinking for a long time to be here in Cuba because I expect Cuba must open, his economic matter. That's what I decided. I think was a really exciting country to try to bring advertising, because at this moment, 12 years ago, never talking about advertising here in this country, okay?
What challenges did you face when you were setting up the agency?
¿A qué retos te enfrentaste cuando empezaste la agencia?
If I say the truth, everyone was talking about that with me. It's so complicated, it's so hard, but for me, it was really easily. I make the constitution on a company in Spain, a Sociedad Limitada in Spain. I bring here, has a first meeting with the Minister of Justice, with the advocate from the Minister of Justice. He made me everything easy, in one week. I has the permission to work here. One more later, I signed an agreement with a company, a estatal company, Cuban estatal company, for make the representation about EBM, because it's the legal, the point of view legal, I must do it, and begin to work. And always I had a lot of reglement. You cannot do it that, but no that. You cannot do it that, but not that. But when I begin to work, when the company, with the agency begin to work, most of the time, the Cuban estatal companies, or the Cuban mix, in between foreign and government, Cuban government, ask for me to do it work with. In the beginning was not allowed, Kids came to the agency, we can do that. I know, don't worry, do it. And we began like this, It was not difficult for me. Now the situation is different, and the country is opening,
Yeah.
And EBM is a brand recognized.
Yeah, a well-known brand.
Okay, a well-known brand, exactly. And everything is going easily. No, we have no problem. We had all the a good number, a really good number of companies, estatal companies, use EBM, even only as consultancy. What do you think about that? Or what do you think about the other? We might go to the German to do it that. Which one you can talk about? It's a personal relation very strong. Okay.
You mentioned Cuba's changing. How is it changing?
How? Sí.
Cuba está cambiando.
Sí.
¿Cómo está cambiando?
Well, the most important thing, is only 5 years ago, all the economy was in the hands of the government, no? Now, the 30% of the economy is in private hands. That is completely different, Cuba 5 years ago, the Cuban people cannot go into the hotels only for tourists. Cannot have a mobile line. Cannot have a lot of stupid things, and Raúl changed everything, Now everything is different because, if you even the Cuban people sometimes, don't are conscient about the changes,
Not aware of changes.
Exactly. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Alice. But when you take an overview, the old Cuba at the actual Cuba is a lot of difference. It's a lot of difference. There is more money in the street. The Cuban people is getting in another lifestyle, you know. They love the glamour, they love the expensive perfume, the expensive restaurant. It's different. It's something, you know. There are no research, there are no investigation study about that. There are no statistics. It's something you feel in the street, you know.
With this in mind, what led you to get involved with Local Planet and their kind of local up approach?
That's true. I see. It's an important thing, you know, because EBM was alone in Cuba, and I had idea is maybe now at this moment in Cuba is the best business is to buy talent here and project to the global market. Okay. The people in Cuba is marvelous educated, you know, it's a lot of people with a high level of education, engineer, mathematics, scientific, everything. And if you want to take this talent, or any product, okay, and sell on the global market, you need a network, of course. And I had no network. And I want to lose my independence, okay? And Local Planet offer me have a network, have access to the global market, and still be free, okay?
To be independent.
Be independent, sorry.
Firstly,
independent and free.
What's the importance you put on independence then? Why is that so important to you, would you say?
What's it important, be independent?
Sí, porque la independencia es tan importante para ti.
Because I was working for a lot on time in my country, you know. The first was a multinational group. I begin in Starcom, you know, Starcom, big country, the Leopard Group, by my agency, and I was with them 7 years.
Media Strategia was your agency.
Media Strategia was my agency, and Starcom both, okay? And I was 7 years. My earnout was the 7 year, okay? The first 4 was a beautiful thing because the people I depend from Chicago, from Jazz Club, is a clever man, but 4 years later, you know, the publicists and big country got together, make the fusion, and with Maurice Levy or the publicists, it's impossible to work. It's impossible to work, absolutely. No, for a man who has the attitude to work with American people. The French and American people are different. I love France, but I don't love policies. Okay.
Okay.
I had a lot of friends in policies. Okay, so it's only different style, different control, different everything. You know. Well. That was my last. This 7 years, you know, was I was really happy in the end, and really young happy in the end. In the beginning, in the happy.
Beginning was very happy, and
the end was very unhappy. Then I began to do another thing 2 years later. Of course, I have 2 years of no competence. Begin to do another things with my the president of the group, certain, and it's a marvelous fellow, and I ¿cómo se dice? He aprendido.
And I have learned.
Exactly, I have learned so many things from him, you know, and I'm from Alex, I'm from Alberto. They are really good fellows, and always I was thinking about to do something different, you know. You must know, I have now at this moment 65 years old, okay? This morning I have 66, okay? And I think in the final of a professional life, you ask for a paradox, a completely different thing, you know. And here I found my paradox, my own paradox.
Okay.
That's lovely. So, what do you think is the future for Cuba and for EBM?
You've been this morning when Juan Triana was making the conference, okay? I completely agree with him, you know. I think the first Cuban it is finalize, sorry, his economic project, with all the changes about that. Later we can maybe to think about the political changes, but the next 5 years will be so exciting, because Cuba needs to do the changing of the economic matter in this 5 years. Don't have more time.
Yeah, no more time. 5 years.
No more time. Okay,
5 years. The economy has to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, in the end, he must continue making change and finalize in the next 5 years. Okay, in the end, next 5 years.
Very exciting times.
It's very exciting time. Yeah, that's true.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, both of you, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thanks.